Today we break down Article 50 of the EU AI Act, the transparency rules that become applicable on August 2nd, 2026. From that date, providers must tell people when they're talking to an AI system and mark synthetic audio, image, video, and text in a machine-readable way. On May 8th, 2026, the Commission published draft implementation guidelines, with consultation open until June 3rd, 2026. In the next few minutes, we cover what Article 50 requires, who it binds, and how to label. Let's start with the core idea behind EU AI Act Article 50 transparency. Here are the essentials of EU AI Act Article 50 transparency in plain language, what it is and why it was introduced. Article 50 of the EU AI Act sets transparency duties that become applicable on August 2nd, 2026. It targets 4 situations: AI chatbots, synthetic media, deepfakes, and emotion or biometric categorization systems people are exposed to. Providers must design AI systems so users know they are interacting with a machine, not a human. This chatbot disclosure duty under Article 50, 1, applies unless the interaction is obvious to a reasonably informed person. Under Article 50, 2, providers of generative systems must mark synthetic audio, image, video, and text as artificially generated in a machine-readable format, so downstream tools can detect that the content is AI-produced. Deployers who generate or manipulate deepfakes must disclose that the content is artificially generated. The same applies to AI-generated text published to inform the public on matters of public interest, with limited exceptions. Now let us look at why EU AI Act Article 50 transparency matters in practice. Here is where EU AI Act Article 50 transparency shows up in real products, teams, and decisions. On May 8th, 2026, the Commission published draft guidelines on implementing Article 50, with a targeted consultation open until June 3rd, 2026. We should track the final version, expected ahead of the August 2026 deadline. Generative systems already on the market before August 2nd, 2026 reportedly get extra time, to around December 2nd, 2026, to apply the machine-readable marking under Article 52. We recommend confirming this against the final guidelines. A parallel code of practice on marking and labeling AI-generated content reached its second draft on March 5, 2026. It proposes a future uniform EU common icon, permitting an interim visual label, simply reading AI. We should map every place our products generate or surface AI content, then add chatbot disclosures, machine-readable marks, and deepfake labels. With the August 2nd, 2026 date fixed, starting before the guidelines finalize reduces last-minute risk. Let us recap the key takeaways on EU AI Act Article 50 transparency and what to do next. Article 50 transparency obligations of the EU AI Act become applicable on August 2nd, 2026, covering chatbots, synthetic media, deepfakes, and certain public interest AI text. Providers must disclose AI interaction under Article 50, 1, and mark generated content in machine-readable form under Article 50, 2. Deployers must separately label deepfakes and relevant AI-generated publications. The draft guidelines of May 8th, 2026, open until June 3rd, 2026, work alongside the Code of Practice whose second draft of March 5th, 2026 proposes a common icon with an interim AI label. Systems on the market before August 2nd, 2026 reportedly have until around December 2nd, 2026 to meet the machine-readable marking requirement. We should verify this grace period in the finalized text. We have walked through what Article 50 of the EU AI Act requires, the August 2nd, 2026 start date, and the draft guidelines and code of practice shaping how we label AI content. Use this to plan your disclosures and marking now. For more information, visit Standarity.com. See you in the next video.